What's up, guys? It's Network, and we're back. Today, we're talking about the full master course, the Network Master Course. And usually, we don't talk about this on YouTube. This is educational purposes only, as always, guys. But what I'm trying to introduce is going to be something new that we don't usually do. We haven't done yet, but it's something that's going to be definitely beneficial for everybody. I'm going to start going over the course, and I'm going to give you some details on the course, answer a lot of the questions that people have on the course, and try to just dig deeper into the process. So what we're going to do today is we're going to just go through some of it, and obviously it's 293 pages, so we're not going to go through the whole thing, but we're going to just start going through it, and I'm going to start answering some questions for you guys to try to get you some better clarity on how this process goes. So, introduction. So, you've unlocked the precise CP blueprint. So, confidential insights that have empowered countless individuals to access millions of dollars in under 5 years. This training program represents the pinnacle of CP knowledge available online, making your investment truly worthwhile. The forthcoming information holds significant value, guys, so you definitely want to make sure you're paying attention to everything that's going on within the videos. So within this comprehensive step-by-step guide, I will dive directly into every aspect encompassing cheat codes, the legal areas, and concealed tactics honed through years of experimentation and discovery. Then I will equip you with the knowledge required to construct a fully operational, supercharged, and impenetrable CP profile, achieving an impressive 800 score in around under 30 days. Sometimes it takes a little longer, and it's not going to always be perfect, guys, because we're dealing with credit. But if you are strenuous with this process and you make sure that you do everything that you need to do, you can definitely get this done within 30 days. So throughout this training, I will unveil numerous insights into CPs and credit experts where they prefer to keep it hidden from you guys. So that's why the network is here. That's why the network has done as well as it's done, because we rather give you the value, guys. We rather help you guys be self-sufficient and be able to do what you need to do without having to go through somebody else. So this is what we're going to go over today. So once again, we're still in the introduction area. So you get ready to embark on the exciting journey into the world of unlocking the ultimate secret. So this is just an introduction to the course, guys. If you haven't bought the course yet, then you know that this is just telling you what's going to happen, how you can get into the course, and what it's going to do for you. So discover how to score approvals for high-limit credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, business financing, and so much more using your new CPN. This blueprint is your gateway to over $50,000 worth of invaluable insights that will empower you to easily and quickly secure over $1 million in personal credit lines, loans, business funding, and various capital sources, even if you're dealing with less than perfect credit. So guys, I'm not saying that you can have a terrible 400 credit score and you can be able to do the maximum, get the maximum out of this, the maximum value out of this course. The better your personal credit score is, the better funding and credit lines that you'll get with this course. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. But I also have something extra that I will be telling you guys about soon. I haven't even released this information yet, but I will be giving you guys some new insight on how you can sweep your credit without doing all the extra letters and sending things in, constantly trying to go back and forth with the credit bureaus and then trying to figure out if the credit bureaus didn't respond within 30 days and then try to get them on that little technicality and stuff like that. Because let's be 100% honest, guys, nobody has the time to do that. So nobody's going to successfully do that. You get the very few meticulous people who can get the credit bureaus on that not responding within 30 days tactic, or you got my name spelled wrong on one of the parts of my credit report. But guys, if we're being completely 1,000% honest, it doesn't usually work like that. A lot of the time when you send those letters in about misspelled names or wrong addresses, they'll just remove the misspelled name or the wrong address, but they're not going to remove the whole account because of a wrong address. So we need to keep that in mind, guys. We don't want to be unrealistic, and most of all, we don't want to waste time. So let's get into some things that you can do with a new CP. So you can obtain credit cards with substantial spending limits, secure substantial personal loans, finance luxury auto purchases, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, GM, Chevy, Dodge, Lexus, etc. Finance vehicles for business purposes, such as starting a trucking company, access department store credit limits and credit lines, Best Buy, Target, Home Depot, Saks, Nordstrom, Macy's, Lowe's, etc. So here are some more things you could do with your new CPN. So you can lease luxury apartments, rent houses. You can't buy a home. So if you're asking about buying a home, you can't buy a home with a CPN, guys. If you don't know that, then you need to go back to some of my old videos and I explain why you can't do that. But you just can't do that. You can't get a loan of that size for that long of a time period and expect for it to last with a CP. It's a rabbit hole, but I explained that in past videos. You can start an Airbnb company to make passive income, jewelry credit lines. A couple years ago, a lot of people were getting Ks. Excuse me, I had to get a drink, but a couple years ago, a lot of people were getting K's jewelry. And Jared, for sure, with their CPNs. Care credit, a lot of women are using care credit to get work done, plastic surgery and stuff like that. Even stuff with like dental work, things like that. A lot of people use CPNs to get care credit. You can personal guarantee a new business with a new EIN and a new DUNS number with your CPN. Now, this is masterclass type of work, and this is why we're discussing it here, guys. With the CPN, you could use once you build your CPN credit up, it works as personal credit, and then that working as personal credit can directly funnel into your EIN and your DUNS. Now, how this works is when you guarantee a new business with a CPN, you basically are going to a credit card application and you're putting in your CP information with your EIN or your DUNS number, whichever one they ask for. Sometimes they ask for both. And then you use that personal guarantee as your CPN. You use your CPN as a personal guarantee. And then you can basically boost your application's reliability because your credit is more reliable on your CP. But we'll get into that. We're just explaining the things that you can do. But I'm just trying to give you guys some context before we keep going. So business credit cards from $50K and up. Business loans from $50K and up. So guys, business credit and business loans are going to be our sole focus here at the network here soon. We're trying to get you guys to understand the importance of business credit and the importance of business credit cards. Because when you have business credit, it's almost the same as having a CPN. Because you have the limit liability, just like a CPN. It's not personal liability with a CPN, and it's not personal liability with a LLC. And you also have a separate credit entity. So you're using an entity to act as you, but it doesn't have to be you necessarily. Educational purposes only. And we're talking about LLCs here. And CPNs can work like that as well. Creating a CPN. So CPN number should mimic the structure of a genuine SSN, Social Security number. Each U.S. state issues Social Security numbers based on specific initial 3 digits. In the upcoming slides, you'll find a guide indicating the appropriate first 3 digits for your CPN. Depending on the state in which you intend to create it, for instance, if you're in New York, the first 3 digits of your CPN should fall within the range of 040-134, as detailed in the chart. Understanding this is crucial when generating a CPN because financial institutions and lenders pay close attention to it. So if your CPN doesn't resemble a legitimate SSN issued in the state you claim it's from, it may raise suspicion. Therefore, remember this step to prevent potential complications. So this only matters when you're doing something like a loan. If you're doing something like a loan, guys, you need this stuff to make sense. So let's say you're using your CP to go get a car. When you're using your CP to go get a car, you're dealing with loan officers. You're dealing with the finance department. And when you're dealing with the finance department, these people deal with applications every day. So they look at Social Security numbers all day, every day. That's their career. That's what they do. So when they see a Social Security number that is a world difference from the one they seen earlier with the same date of birth, or maybe yesterday or the day before, somebody came in around the same age as you from the same state. Because typically, if you're shopping for a car in, let's say, Nevada, and we'll talk about Nevada later. Nevada has some special rules where you can actually get some write-offs so you could get deals with cars. But we'll talk about that later. But let's say you're getting a car in Nevada. If you're getting a car in Nevada, then most people that are getting a car in Nevada at that dealership, they're all from Nevada, usually. So then all it takes is for someone to come in around the same age as you. Social Security numbers are designated to age groups. So when the age group is assigned to you, well, when you're assigned a Social Security number, that age group has a designated assigned number. And if your designated assigned number doesn't look like the number of someone else that they've dealt with in the past, then it could raise suspicion. But obviously, this won't happen to you because you're hearing this information right now, and you understand if you're going to get a car, then you need to be making sure that your CP is rock solid. Let's move to the next. So this here is a chart, and it shows you the states, and it shows you the number sequences of those states. This is what we're discussing, guys. So just take a look at it. You can take a screenshot, whatever you need to do. Just take a look at it. I'm not going to go through every state with every sequence. That doesn't make sense to do that. So you can go ahead and look at it, and you see what I'm discussing here. So these are typical designated numbers here. But once again, guys, I'm letting you guys know that if you're not looking to go and get something like a vehicle, then you don't need to necessarily follow this exactly like this. But it's always good too. But I have to preface this with, if you do go with this chart, and I have multiple other charts to show you with the other states, but if you do go with this chart, then you do need to understand that with this chart, you have to make sure that you're not using a number that is already being used. This is where people run into issues where you hear some of these people on YouTube, they'll be saying like, oh, people are using dead people's socials, or people who are not supposed to be, people are using baby social security numbers and they're using them as new identities. And that's when you get into the gray, and when you get from the gray area to you're actually not doing what you're doing something you're not supposed to do. So this is why you need to know what you're doing before you get into this process. So when you're using these numbers, you need to validate the SSN. Now, some people use SSN Validator. SSN Validator it's okay to use. SSN Validator, what that is it validates the SSN to make sure that the social security number is not issued. Because you don't want to issue that number out to someone. And then, well, you don't want the government to issue that number out to someone. And then you try to use the number because you're trying to keep your number in alignment with your state. And this is why I tell people, if you don't fully know how to do this process, then I wouldn't recommend you trying to stick with the chart and try to follow the sequence exactly for your state and try to exactly create your profile exactly like that, because then you'll end up making your number in someone else's name, and then you run into issues that you don't want to deal with. So just keep that in mind, guys. SSN Validator, you want to validate the SSN if you're using the chart. Here goes another chart. I'm not going to keep this on these charts for long, guys, because this is not rocket science. You see the chart, you see the SSN sequence, and we go from there. So finding and creating the perfect CP. So in this next step, we will guide you on how to create CPNs that closely resemble legitimates. So to recap the first module, so we covered how to decode the first 3 digits of your profile based on your state. So you should now have those initial numbers in mind and ready. Now we will proceed to determine the final 6 digits to complete the full 9-digit CP number that you'll use. For example, as mentioned in the first, let's say you are in Georgia and your SSN starts with numbers 252260. We know that the first 3 digits should fall within this range. This is educational purposes only, guys. Once again, everything in this video is fully educational purposes only, guys. I'm not telling you to do any of this stuff. I'm just educating you on how this process works. So it will look like this: 252, yada, 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 yada. To create the last 6 digits, you can use the following website. Like I said in the previous page, SSN Validator. And that's www.ssnvalidator.com. Once you have your first 3 numbers based on the state where you'll be creating your CP, enter them in the first box on the SSN Validator's website, then use a set of 6 random numbers to complete the full 9-digit code. Sorry about that. All right, so let's go to the next step. So then on the next screen, prepare for the moment of truth. You'll receive one of 3 messages: issued, death master file, or non-issuance. If it flashes issued or death master file, sorry, that number does not work for you. But if you see non-issuance and no records of issuance, you've just unlocked a brand new, pristine, unused CP number. This is your ticket to a fresh start. So jot it down, guard it like treasure, because this is your magic number you'll use to create your new profile. So to double confirm, take your newfound CP and swing by ssnverify.org, enter your CPN number, ssncheck.org, verify, and just make sure you're good to go. Once you have your number, then you need to attach your number to the name. So once again, guys, this is educational purposes only. And we're getting into the area where we're going to have to do part 2 of this, because we can't go through the whole process here on YouTube, but we can educate you as much as we can this far. But what's going to happen, guys, is we're going to have a whole class discussing this whole process from A to Z. So we're going to go from talking about everything we need to do to build our profiles, and then after we talk about everything we need to do to build our profiles in full detail, then we'll go to discussing everything we need to do to liquidate our profiles, and everything we need to do to connect our profiles to our EINs and our business credit. And if you don't know how to build your business, we'll also tell you how to build your business to be able to connect to your CP. And then we'll tell you how to build your business credit and your CPN credit simultaneously. And then we'll tell you how to liquidate that as well. And that'll all be in our new class. We're going to have a class on Tuesday, and that's going to be Tuesday of this month. So let's see what day that would be. That would be the 6th, August 6th. We're going to have a class talking about all of this stuff, guys. So if you want to get a part of this class, then you need to go ahead and message me on Telegram, and we will tell you how you can join the class. So let's go through this last slide. Attaching your CP to your name. To create a CP profile, start by selecting an address completely unrelated to your personal history. Ensure this address has no past connections to you or your financial history to avoid mixing your files. It's essential to receive mail at this address, but not too close to your own. So, guys, this isn't something that's bad or not something you're not supposed to do. This is just the fact that you can't mix the profiles together, because if you mix the profiles together, then you could do what they call tri-merging the files. And if you tri-merge the files, then the files will literally merge together, and the information from your CPN will be on your personal credit report. Then you'll defeat the whole purpose of the process, because then whatever you do on your CPN will be directly tied to your personal credit file. And that is what a lot of rookies do, guys. So this is why you need to join the class, to make sure that you're doing these things right, because it could be something as simple as typing in an address that you don't live at the address today, but you lived at the address 2 years ago, and you type in the address that you lived 2 years ago because you think, oh, well, I don't live there anymore, so I'll just go ahead and type in my information from last year or 2 years ago, and I'll just see if I can just put everything there, so because I don't technically live there anymore. That doesn't work, guys. If you do that, then you will merge the files. If you type in any address that you lived before, or even family members that you lived with before, so let's say you type in your mom's address. If you type in your mom's address, you still will merge the file, guys. So you can use a family member that is not associated with you, so in regards to anything financial. So, a lot of people don't realize that their credit profile is usually merged with their mother or father's address, or grandmother, somebody like that. You're usually merged with them because you've had mail sent to them before. But any family member that you haven't ever sent mail to, you haven't ever did an application and used their address before, then that family member's fine. For the phone number associated with your CP profile, avoid using services like TextNow or Google. They don't usually work anymore. They don't verify anything. They don't report to any of the major data collection agencies that you need to be able to make your CPN public records actually activate. So instead, purchase an inexpensive phone with a new number from providers like Metro PCS, T-Mobile prepaid, AT&T prepaid, or Cricket Wireless. Use your CPN address and your real name when setting up this phone service, and keep the area code consistent with your CPN address region. So this information will be crucial for future steps in the process. So I hope to see you guys at the class on Tuesday. It's going to be Tuesday, August 6th. I'll update you guys with the time and everything like that. Just message me on Telegram, and I hope to see as many people as possible. You'll be able to ask questions in the class, and you'll also be able to type out your feedback and things different ideas that you have. And a lot of you guys don't understand. A lot of people in our community have a lot of information. I'm not the only one with a lot of information in our community. So when you join this class, you'll be able to get a part of the community and see what information they have to offer, as well as the information that I have to offer. So let's do this. It's the network. We're back with another video. We'll see you on the next one.